We're joined now by two members of Ron Goldman's family, his father Fred, his sister Kim. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Today, Fred, you know, the consensus seems to be that he is going to get parole. I can only imagine how that makes you feel.
Needless to say, upset. What's troubling to me is not only him, but the whole system gives second chances to violent felons, or for that matter, anyone in jail. Ron doesn't get a second chance.
And Kim, you've said that these last several years with OJ in prison have been a reprieve. That now may be over.
Yeah, I mean, we lived our life with him walking the streets and sharing the same roads that we did, and with him being locked up in Lovelock, it's been a chance for us to kind of reclaim some control over our life and have some semblance of sanity. So I'm preparing myself for that to be changing come October.
One of the reasons he's likely to get parole is because he was never convicted, as we all know, of the murder, even though that civil jury, 12 jurors found him liable. Now, the parole board doesn't take that into account, but you and your attorneys think they should have.
Absolutely. I think his whole history of violence, ignoring the law, no respect for the law, no remorse for virtually anything he's ever done, is an indication of who he is as a person. I don't think there's any reason to think that he's going to be a decent human being into society. I think he's proved otherwise.
And Kim, you know, you all have chosen to be part of this as well for the last 20 years. You didn't choose it initially, for sure. And you've gotten some criticism on social media for continuing to pursue the case. What is your response to all that?
I hope that no one ever has to walk in our shoes, but we know that millions of people on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, are impacted by trauma and crime, and the civil system awarded us a judgment, and it is our job to follow the system, to follow the law, and to pursue that judgment. That's his punishment. Anybody else would have to do that or would want to do that, and I don't see why we should be different. If we don't pursue it, then we've given him another free pass, and I don't believe that's the truth. I mean, I don't think that's necessary.
As we heard Dan Abrams say, his pensions are protected, but he's likely to earn other money. Do you see any chance of getting much of that back?
I think we'll do the same thing we did for the previous 20-plus years, and we'll go after everything that's around there. As Kim just said, that's a form of punishment.
A form of punishment, but not, in your view,
right,
justice. Are you reconciled to the fact, the likelihood, that you're never going to see the justice you think you deserve, Ron deserves?
Probably so. Probably never see that. No, never get the justice. Ron never gets to spend his life doing what he wanted to do. We'll never get to share his life. And the killer will walk free and do whatever he wants.
He's going to appear before that parole board today. We're going to hear from his victim in this other crime as well. If you were before that board today, if you were in front of OJ Simpson, what would you want to say to them and to him?
While I understand that our two cases are not linked, the murder case and what he did in Las Vegas, I think it's interesting to point out that he stormed a hotel room with goons and guns to steal property. Not a lot of people would do that, but that was where he went. His propensity is to be violent. His propensity is to go above and beyond what the law dictates he's supposed to do. Our society afforded him his freedom back in '95 when they acquitted him. I want them to be remembered that that's his go-to, is violence, and to not be respectful of the law that gave him his freedom.
And if OJ Simpson were sitting in front of you like I am right now, what would you say?
I don't want to have any conversation with him. I think he's beyond any conversation for a reasonable human being.
Fred Goldman, Kim Goldman, thanks very much. I know you'll be watching today.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
And of course, as I said, I'll be anchoring our live coverage of the OJ Simpson parole hearing today at 1 Eastern.